luck, and you're going to start having fatalities on the bridge. You're going to have people doing exercising road rage or behaving badly, right? Because this is what happens. Human beings make mistakes, they make errors, and this is the problem. I can't get some of some people to understand, because there are people always asking why I'm always criticizing the government. I'm not criticizing the government. I am pointing out flaws in the infrastructure, because the government's goal is not really to build anything. The government's goal is to get itself re-elected. The whole point of politicians is to hold on to their jobs. That is why, for example, a lot of the last set of infrastructure was open in a rush around election time, election season. And this is what the observer mission from the EU is pointing out, that the government put a thumb on the scale during the last election in several ways, and one of those ways is by using public funds, using the treasury to campaign, opening these infrastructure works which were built with taxpayers' money, and using those openings as campaign events. Right? So the government's job is to get itself elected. They don't really care about safety. They don't care about people. They care about getting their hands on the money and directing those funds to their friends and family. That is the reality of politics in Guyana, unfortunately. Right? But somebody has to point out or look out for the Guyanese people. And that means pointing out the flaws in the infrastructure. So this is not about me criticizing your favorite political party. This is about me demanding that taxpayers' money be spent in ways that are beneficial to taxpayers and that are safe. And the quality meets international standards. I keep saying that all the time, that quality of the infrastructure must meet international standards. Now here we are approaching Peters Hall. This is the intersection with the old bridge. I understand there is now talk about reopening this old bridge. I think the plan was to dismantle the bridge, demolish the bridge, and move parts of it elsewhere around the country. That is, of course, entirely unnecessary. This bridge could still be open and operational. We're in need of several bridges across the Demerara River. One bridge, this new Bar Jack Dale Bridge, is not sufficient, particularly if you're looking at growth. So this is the old Demerara Harbour Bridge. Right, that's the old Demerara Harbour Bridge. It has been closed, but there's really no reason why it shouldn't be operational, why it should be closed. We're back here at Peters Hall. We've actually seen this bistro before. Let's take a look at the bridge from the overpass here at Peters Hall. Let's see what that looks like. Yes, guys, so those are my ideas about safety, bridge safety, traffic safety, and infrastructure, quality of infrastructure here in Guyana. That is, they need to design the infrastructure for safety, and therefore that is what will save lives. People try to assume or to blame drivers. People need to slow down, drivers need to slow down. Fact is, drivers will make mistakes. All right, that's looking north, East Bank Public Road looking north. And that is the East Bank Public Road looking south. This is the bridge. So this is the bridge on a Saturday morning. On a Saturday morning here in November 2025. You see there's a crane at the top of that tower. You can also see at the top of the towers, the cap has been placed. So those cranes, it's not clear to me what they're doing. But this is what is happening here. There is traffic moving across the bridge. Let me see if I can show you some of that. You already see the tops of cars. Yeah, there's traffic moving across the bridge here on this Saturday morning. And this is the pedestrian overpass here at Peters Hall. All right, so clearly there is some kind of construction that's still ongoing here at the new Demerara River Bridge. Evidence of that is the fact that those cranes, right, those cranes are still up at the top of the towers, but the bridge is open to traffic. So the question is, why is the pedestrian walkway part of the bridge that is supposed to allow pedestrians to walk across the bridge, why is that not open? Now I've been waiting a month and a half now for them to open it so that I could walk across the bridge and do some measurements. Like I said, I wanted to see how long the bridge is by measuring it with GPS. And I also wanted to see the views from the high span section. Earlier, when the bridge was first opened, vehicles would stop on the bridge and passengers would get out to take pictures and to record the view from the high span section. That, of course, was dangerous behavior, and the government put an end to it by imposing fines and warnings for people who are engaged in that behavior. It's Peters Hall Masjid. We passed just as the entrance to Republic Park and the Hindu temple there. Yes, guys, so why is the pedestrian part of the bridge not open? Morning. Morning. Why is the pedestrian part of the bridge not opened? The question is, are they finished with the pedestrian access that they were constructing at the side of the bridge? So that is what we're going to try and determine in this half of the video. Now, that's the entrance to Nandi Park. Or remember, it's about 7, it's almost 7, 6:30. 7 on a Saturday morning here in Guyana. That's the road to Timeri and points south, the East Bank Public Road. This is the road looking north towards Georgetown. And this is the bridge. This is the ramp section. You can see fence. Over the East Bank Public Road, that is the overpass section of the ramp. There's that fence that is preventing people from tossing objects onto the road below, or just from objects falling off the bridge onto the road below. And this is what the bridge looks like after a month and a half of use. It's been open for traffic for a month and a half. See if you can take a look at the top of the towers. Right at the top of the towers, and there's some cranes there. So the issue is safety. The issue is also completion. So the work has not yet been completed, as evidenced by the crane. But here is the access road to the pedestrian access to the bridge. So the last time we were here, they were still working on this. They were still building. Morning. That's okay. So when they're opening the pedestrian walkway. Okay, thanks. So this road is completed. Currently, it would allow some emergency vehicles to access the road. Right, this is the road that they were building, or beside the ramp section of the bridge seems to have been completed, and there is also a pedestrian walkway there. Suggestion here is that sometime in January the pedestrian access to the road to the bridge will be open. This is the high span section, ramp leading to the high span section of the bridge. Alright, ramp leading to the high span section of the bridge. And here is the Providence side